Our next tip is called mental shelving. Mental shelving is a lot like the word suggests, creating a shelf, but not literally, but mentally. So what would this shelf be used for? Mental shelving is actually a technique to help us to create a sort of a imaginary virtual space in our head where we can put away thoughts and emotions that are currently interfering with what we are doing. So for example, we've all had situations like this. So imagine we are sitting and maybe having a work call, and we suddenly remember and realize that, oh, I need to go and maybe complete this in the kitchen, or I need to get my daughter or my son to complete this homework. And those thoughts seem to intrude into our meeting. We do need to focus on what is going on. So this tip is about either actually getting a piece of pen and paper and writing down those thoughts, which we often do, right? Oh, I don't want to forget, so I'm going to write those down on a piece of paper and get to them later. The same technique or idea can also be used to shelve or to put on a shelf our emotions. So for example, using the same example of the meeting, if we are in the meeting and then we are also suddenly overcome with a lot of thoughts of something that makes us feel hurt or anxious or overwhelmed, what we can do is we actually imagine in our minds a shelf. And now this is in your mind, so the shelf can look like anything. It doesn't actually have to look like a shelf. You can use your imagination, but a space to hold that emotion where you are saying, I'm going to right now put it aside and get to it later once I have the bandwidth and the time to process or think over what I'm feeling. So this actually could be in a space which is imagined like maybe in a beach or some place that feels very calming and soothing to you. And you put this in a shelf. Now the shelf can actually have different sections or compartments. So one could maybe hold your thoughts, and these then you can catalog or put according to what is your priority and what is important. And then you could have a section for your emotions as well and say, I'm going to put this away for now, these feelings of overwhelm, and I am going to get to them later when I can. So you could probably choose a time, maybe in the afternoon where you have some time for yourself, or maybe later in the day, at the end of the day when all your daily chores are over, where you sit in a quiet corner and you actually think back of that mental shelf or that image of that shelf and re-access some of those emotions. And at that time, you have the time to actually focus and think those through. So this will allow you to actually focus on your meeting at that time and also not let go and suppress some of these feelings that are coming up. A word of caution at this time would be that if you feel that at the end of this exercise that you're feeling like there is too much piling up on those shelves, then I would also request you to take professional help of a counselor, maybe talk to a friend, or find ways in which others can help support you in this time. So that's mental shelving tip number 2. Thank you.